Hello viewers! On today's news, China has accused the United States of stoking military confrontation with the recent deployment of a powerful missile launcher capable of firing weapons with a range of up to 1,600 kilometers to exercises in the Philippines. The U.S. Army's Mid-Range Capability (MRC) ground-based missile system arrives in a region on edge following a series of dangerous Chinese-Philippine face-offs in the South China Sea, during which Philippine ships have been targeted with water cannons, injuring several Filipino sailors. It's the first-ever deployment of the MRC missile system, also known as the Typhoon system, to the Indo-Pacific theater. And it comes amid a series of U.S.-Philippine military exercises, including the largest-ever edition of the annual bilateral Balikatan drills, beginning Monday. The U.S. Army has not said how long the Typhoon system will remain in the Philippines, but its involvement in the series of joint exercises between the two treaty allies, the first of which began on April 8th, sends a signal the U.S. can put offensive weaponry well within striking distance of Chinese installations in the South China Sea, the southern Chinese mainland, and along the Yiwan Strait. Analysts say the Typhoon system is capable of firing the Standard Missile-6 SM-6, a ballistic missile defense munition that can also target ships at sea at a range of 370 kilometers, according to our research findings. It also can fire the Tomahawk land attack missile, a maneuverable cruise missile with a range of 1,600 kilometers. According to Beijing, its presence in the region increases the risks of misjudgment and miscalculation. During a regular news briefing last week, China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian accused the U.S. of seeking a unilateral military advantage and underscored Beijing's strong opposition to the deployment. "We urge the U.S. to earnestly respect other countries' security concerns, stop stoking military confrontation, stop undermining peace and stability in the region, and take concrete actions to reduce strategic risks," Lin said. The U.S. Army is calling the deployment, which began April 11th for the Salak Nib exercise, a landmark in its regional capability. The apparent diplomatic fallout comes as attendees from 29 countries, including the commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, attend a today Western Pacific Naval Symposium, which began in the eastern Chinese port city of Qingdao on Sunday. The attendees will discuss maritime peace, maritime order based on maritime security cooperation and international laws, and global maritime governance. Those are the same rules Washington and Manila accuse Beijing of ignoring, with aggressive Chinese actions that have injured Filipino sailors and damaged vessels around disputed features in the South China Sea. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty between the U.S. and the Philippines, the oldest such U.S. pact in Asia-Pacific, stipulates both sides would help defend each other if either were attacked by a third party. Analysts say the deployment of the Typhoon missile battery is the first signal of U.S. plans to address what has long been an advantage for Beijing in the region. This in some way equalizes the prior situation where Chinese missiles have threatened U.S. forces along the first island chain, which includes the northern Philippines, Japan, and Taiwan, and even further eastward along the second island chain, centering on Guam. The current deployment of the Typhoon was something that would not have even been an option for the U.S. military until 2019. Development of ground-launched missile systems of the type were banned under the 1987 Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty between the U.S. and the Soviet Union, but the U.S. formally withdrew from the treaty in 2019, with then-President Donald Trump citing Russian non-compliance and concerns about China's intermediate-range missile arsenal. Meanwhile, the U.S. and the Philippines kicked off the largest of their series of joint exercises Monday, with the three-week Balikatan drills, Tagalog for shoulder-to-shoulder, involving thousands of military personnel. A report from the official Philippine news agency said Manila would use the annual exercises to showcase its military's most advanced systems, including a missile frigate, light fighter jets, close combat support aircraft, and Black Hawk helicopters. Philippine officials previously indicated the naval portion of the exercise would for the first time extend beyond the 12 nautical mile limit of Philippine waters and into the country's exclusive economic zone, some 200 nautical miles 370 kilometers from Philippine shores, though no exact route has been provided. It will also include French naval participation in a group sail from Palawan Island, according to Philippine officials. Palawan, which sits between the South China Sea and the Sulu Sea, is about 200 kilometers from Second Thomas Shoal. a contested feature in the Spratly Islands that has been the site of numerous face-offs between Philippine and Chinese Coast Guard vessels. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.